Let's start with Colorado and Edmonton because that's the first game. That'll be on Monday, June the 6th. The Avalanche minus 130 on the road in Edmonton. The Oilers plus 110. The over-under here 7. The Oilers 20-1 to come back and win the series down 3-0. Game 3 line was minus 125 for the Avs, plus 105 for the Oilers. And there's some stuff to unpack here. Nazem Kadri's out for the rest of the series and then some for the Avalanche, and Evander Kane is suspended 1 game. Those two things are related. And the goaltending situation, Pavel Francouz, we thought he was going to be a significant downgrade, or at least a downgrade to Darcy Kemper, but he's been really good, Francouz, and the Oilers are having trouble figuring him out, especially in tight. It seems like he's doing a pretty good job controlling the chaos. So you and I both been on the Oilers on a game-to-game basis. We thought that they could at least make this a series. We're wrong so far. But are you just abandoning ship here, given that they're down 3-0, no Evander Kane, and the fact that Francouz looks like he might be the goods?
I wouldn't say that I'm abandoning ship yet, but obviously the series is over. Edmonton's not going to win the series, but in terms of looking to play them game by game, it's a little bit tough here. So you mentioned that the Oilers closed at plus 105 in game 3, right? So there was a lot of so when a team is down 0-2 and they're playing at home, that's usually historically a spot where you would bet them. I thought that they were there was value on them in game 3, and then obviously throughout the day it got bet down all the way to where it closed at plus 105. So that wasn't surprising there. What we see now is the Oilers Avs are minus 120 to minus 125. So that premium that you had to pay on the Oilers late at the end of game 3, or sorry, before game 3 started, that's gone now, right? Because the 0-2 spot is gone. So now you're looking at, without that spot, are the Avalanche, if you want to bet the Avalanche, do you have to pay the premium for a team going for the sweep, which historically the market bets on a team going for the sweep. So I would expect the Avalanche number to increase throughout the day tomorrow. So when you look at who's out, so Kadri historically has been a huge loss for the Avalanche. We saw it last year in the Las Vegas in the Vegas series, where his loss really hurt the Avalanche there because he provides that as second line scoring. In this scenario, I would expect Rantanen to slot into the second line center spot. I think that makes the most sense because the team has had trouble with the third line and getting some consistency there. So now that they have their players theoretically that they want slotted in the third line, I don't think you really want to bring someone up from the third line to go play second line center. So getting Rantanen to the second line makes sense. So I think that negates a lot of historically the loss, what would impact Kadri. Evander Kane is a huge loss for the Oilers. I think that really hurts them in terms of their offensive production in a series where they're struggling to score a bit here. So I think that Kane's loss, just because of what the teams can do, I would argue that Kane's loss is a bigger loss to the Avalanche, to the Oilers, than it is than Kadri's loss to the Avs. In terms of goaltending, yeah, you're right. We were wrong about Pavel. He's been spectacular, and I mean, really, like what this series for me has come down to is that even though the Oilers, you could argue, were the better team in game 3 and they should have gotten a better result, the fact of the matter is that whatever was ailing the Avalanche between their ears is gone now. They've exercised their demons. That was a game that they should have lost. And they battled through, gave a quick goal, got early power plays that they didn't score on. That had all the makings of a prototypical Colorado lost in the past. So I give them credit. I think that looking at the number right now, I would say that Avalanche are a little short right now. So if you do like the Avalanche, you do want to move on them quick because they will take money throughout the day. And then if you like the Oilers, you can wait it out. So at this point, I'm leaning towards the Avalanche here.
The over under is pretty interesting here. Everyone was joking before game one because it was 7.5. First time we saw that in 20 years in the postseason, at least 20 years. And then the teams respond by putting up 14 goals, almost doubling it. So for game two, members of the media who are, I'm not even going to name, but like members of the hockey media were making the hope you take the over jokes before the game even started. And then what happens, obviously, game goes under pretty easily in a 4-0 win for the Avalanche. Game three, it gets adjusted again, and now we're looking for game four. After 2 straight unders, the 7 is now juiced to the under.
Yeah.
So I think it's a decent opportunity to buy on an over, because I think what we're seeing out of the Oilers, and I started to surmise this before game three, is it might just behoove the Oilers to just open it up. Open it up.
Why not?
Yeah, bet on yourself in another 8-6 game, because you have Connor McDavid, you have Leon Draisaitl. Of course, you don't have Vander Kane, but Zach Hyman can slide up. There's still enough depth there that you can at least skate with this team. You have Connor McDavid, for Christ's sake, and he's going to be playing a ton of minutes. On that note, I think McDavid player props are very live for this one, because he's going to be playing basically every other shift your team's down 3-0. You got your backs to the wall. You're going to let him empty the tank here to at least go out in a blaze of glory in his historic postseason. But I think the over, because I think that it behooves the Oilers to open it up, is live. Don't mind, like the first period overs, and just basically betting derivatives off of that as well. We did touch on Francouz. He's been great. Mike Smith, I think, is in pretty good too after game one. These losses are not his fault. He's catching a lot of flack, but I mean, there's nothing he could have done, I don't think. I mean, he wants that last goal back against JT Compher, but he was superb in game two, kept the Oilers in it. And then I thought he was fine in game three. He makes one mistake. I mean, that's Mike Smith though. But I do think that, Francouz at some point will start leaking some goals. He's not Igor Shesterkin or Andrei Vasilevsky, and Smith, is Mike Smith. So the fact that the over under is adjusted the other way makes it appealing to me to at least go the other way and back it over.